Hey guys, I've decided I wanted to make this video just to kind of talk and journal. I think I'm going to change it, well, I'll keep this channel the same, but I'm going to use it as a way to write down experiences, thought processes, and things I'm interested in. So, this is kind of a rebranding, and I guess what I mainly want to get into in today's video is a common problem, death, and curiosity. That's what I want to talk about today. I'm finding myself more and more every day that I enjoy thinking and being inquisitive. Asking these questions is what I love to do, and I want to share it with you guys and see if you guys want to participate. And I'm going to keep doing this. I don't know, I don't have a schedule yet, but I'm just going to do it. So, how I want to talk about a common problem is, let's just say a man and a woman, they're walking through their tiny little hamlet, right? And the man poses the question of, what do you think it means to be human? And the woman says, well, to be human is to experience love and to find purpose. That's looking at it from a more optimistic and I don't know what the word is, but there may be a word for it, but a loving sense. Then the man says, well, for me, I think to be human is you must just exist. You are Homo sapien, I guess is what I'll say. Then the woman says back, well, that's invalid, because why would I be given these emotions if not to use them as a human? And then the man says, well, other animals and creatures have these emotions, such as we. They experience love, they experience anger. The woman says, but they don't experience it as much as we do. But then the man says, well, they still experience it. And then I think this is where we get to a common problem of we don't have like a definitive answer on what it means to be human, or it's all philosophical. It's really a conscious and like philosophical, I think, thought process. I'm not trying to say words just to sound smart either. I'm trying to find the words in my head and put them out onto you. I wanted to think, so I'm using the video to think. I think that this common problem, it isn't one we solve, but it's one we work together to discuss and have debates about. Because to be human to me is to be kind, to be thoughtful, and to question. That's why I think we were given the ability to be curious and to question things. Like, why? The word why is a beautiful word, because it allows you to open, I would say, almost every door. Every possible route, every possible argument to what you're thinking. Because when I say something like, why do we die? There's the scientific answer, well, you're biologically not engineered, but you're biologically evolved to your cells lasting this amount of time, and then they slowly give out and die, and your body dies, and your brain, and looking at it from an atheistic perspective, that's it. You thought, you thunk, and then now you're done. You don't exist anymore. Looking at it from a theist perspective, you die, but then whatever religion you believe in, if you lived a life well enough, you go to your heaven, right? Christianity, it's heaven. If you don't live it well enough, or if you decide not to believe, you go to hell. similar. I do not know. I'm going to say that for the other religions. I do not know what happens if you go to heaven or if you exist more. I know in Catholicism there is purgatory, which is a Christian denomination. Anyways. Right? So, like, that's a question. Why? Why do we die? What's the point of dying? What happens after death? Right? What I just kind of argued. That I was trying to find the words. That argument was... But these two, curiosity, morality, and like death and morality, really intertwine, I think. I think they help each other a lot because we use ourselves to try and find an answer. And I don't think there's an answer. I'm personally a spiritual person, and I think there is something after death. It may not be the Abrahamic religions of like how the exact Bible describes it or things like that, but I do think with how big everything is and beautiful it is and well designed, and now that I brought up well designed, I have another thing to say, is that when people say like, well, we're so well designed, like humans are designed, like look at the hand, for example. You don't, like, if you look at a diagram of it, I may put up a picture in the top left corner, that, well, it's so beautifully designed, randomness doesn't have that happen. But then, well, look at the knees, right? They're designed not in the best way. The eyes, the nerves are fed backwards, right? Or like, why is there evil? Why do people hurt each other? This is like all curiosity, and it's interesting. And I think death as well is also interesting. It's just because, like, what you do with your life is... I think that's the purpose to me, is what are you going to do with your life that you have been given? Like, when people look for a purpose in life, they want something. And then there's nihilists who are like, well, there is no purpose to life. Life is meaningless. Do whatever. I'm of the belief that, like, I don't understand what and like why you would choose to be nihilist. I think I may have ideas of why people become nihilists. I think it may be traumatic events, or just that there isn't anything. So they think, well, there's nothing, there's no point. And that brings up another interesting point, is, well, if there is nothing, why would I choose to do anything with it? Right? Why would I choose, if there is nothing, why should I buy this car? If there's nothing, if there's no point in doing it. Why should I have kids if there's no point, that I'll die at some point and they will live on without me and there's nothing to do? I'm just rambling here, so if it's confusing or if it doesn't sound smart, I'm just rambling. Just want to put my thoughts out there, and I'm trying to make it as perceivable to multiple people as I can. I think questioning is like one of the smartest things a person can do, is to question almost everything. Is to look at things from, I personally, this is like recently even, I was in the car with my mother, and I must have set her off. Well, I set her off. She didn't get mad, but I try to look at it from almost every perspective to get the entire story and why people believe it like that. And I said something to my mom, I can't remember exactly, but she was like, what do you find joy in? I mean, me and my mom, we've been at odds recently. Like, for the past, I'd say start of the year, leaving 2025, is that I've just been at odds with my mother, because we're two different people. Very different beliefs, very different ways of solving problems, and very different discussions. But that question is what has really got me thinking even more. Because I said, what my answer was is, well, I liked what I told you earlier. I like to think. I like to I like to look at it from every angle. I like to view it from every possible story so I can get the full, the ball. And she just kind of laughed, and I was like, well, in my head, I don't like trying to pick at my mom more because she just gets angry and nothing goes, it's just in the ear, out the other. I love my mom. I'm gonna preface that. But what it is questioning and thinking is beautiful. It's like an art. Because you have to look at everything, break it down to figure out what it is. But you get the opportunity your entire life. I'm just rambling here. I'm really just spitballing, but to bring it back to death and curiosity, I don't think that if there is nothing, there is no meaning. I hope you get what I'm saying. Like, kind of, if when I die, there's nothing, so there was no point to doing anything prior while I was living. Well then, if that is the case, why not just kill yourself? I know that's a heavy topic, but if you think there is no meaning and that there is no purpose and there's nothing after death, why would you choose to live at all in a meaningless world, in a meaningless life, if there is nothing? And I am not well educated. I want to preface that. I have not read books. I have not researched enough. It's very little knowledge. It feels wrong to be speaking on it, but I want to because this is my journal pretty much. And I want you guys in the comments to talk about it as well. I want to start up conversation because I've thought about suicide. I've as a teenager, right? There's all these chemicals and hormones running through your body to where you can't think straight. And that's why I like thinking, because it's an ability you've been given and you have to work with it your entire life. There is no getting around thinking. So the fact that at my age I constantly contemplate morality and what it is to be alive, I think it's sad that not more people in my generation want to do those things. And then suicide, wrapping back to that, I'd say I'm still, but working out of it. I was in a depressive state. I wanted to die because there's nothing to do, right? If the world is so terrible and evil and all the people I meet are out for me, I can't do anything about that. But I became a bigger and stronger person. It was a while till I told my parents, but I called like the suicide hotline. I wasn't on the verge of committing, but I was. There's always that thought in the back of my head where it's like, well, just commit it. Just do it. What's the point? But my argument to that in my head, this is wrapping back to other viewpoints, is, well, it's not gonna benefit you. It's gonna hurt your family. You can't do it because you're the only one you're the man of the house. So you have to help your mother. And this is all wrapping back to curiosity and also and like morality and what is good, what is wrong, and death. It's sad that people take their lives every single day because people don't hear them, or it's a comment, right? And like, this is a common problem, is that people are vicious to each other, especially children. And me, myself, being someone who's grown up in a household where who's growing up in a household, let me repeat myself, being told that this is what it is. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I think that's what made me, I don't want to sound all high and mighty, more mature than the children of my age. Relatively to like book smart and thought and like being I wouldn't say I'm philosophically smart. I'm still learning. But smart in the way that I think. I don't like I hate like saying that because it sounds rude. I don't like being rude. I like being polite and mature. But like I'm drained every day at school. I love my friends. I love my family. I love everyone. But I want to have these deep conversations with people, and I don't know how to start them, and I don't know how to continue them, because the friends I've moved schools. I've moved multiple schools. But the friends I was with at my first school, they are too immature, but I want to keep a relationship with them because I find them as my first friends. Like, they're the closest people to me, but they aren't the closest, like, mentally friends. You do kind of, they're close on a relationship, and I would almost say nostalgic friendship. And I don't think I have any friends who are as deep in thought as I am. There are friends I have who I have I've had some deep conversations with. Not really. I think I've had more deep conversations with my mother than I have my friends. But I think it's like a suffering. It's suffering is what I view it as, because I'm constantly sat there with my friends, sitting there like this, with my head down, looking at my phone, because they're rambling about things I wish I could be dumb about, or be dumb with. But I'm sitting there thinking about, like, this is stupid what they're talking about. Why aren't they thinking about the future of them? Why aren't they thinking about politics or the economics? And I hate that I sound like that, because I think, well, you shouldn't be thinking of those things. You're a kid. But I'm in my head arguing, well, society's made you this way. It's good that you're going against, you want to think more like an adult at your age. You're going against the I don't want to say evilness, but the malice of society. I've also been thinking recently, where did this idea of like the patriarchy come from in history? I'm probably going to do research on that, but why is it that these few men who then turn into this massive idea view themselves as better than women? Then we've had so much systemic sexism. I don't know if that's the proper, please correct me if I'm wrong, for thousands of years. But I don't think when we were cavemen, when we didn't have nearly as much thought as we do now, it was like this. It was similar because females were the birth givers, right? So you had to treat them with respect because they gave birth to your next kin, which would continue your bloodline, viewing it from a genetic survivalist perspective. So, like, I'm like, why? And then that causes more division within the entirety of society. Well, I mean, I think now, currently, we're in the most divided time of Earth's history, because we're all connected, but we're all sharing our opinions, and people aren't liking them because they get them, and they don't know how to properly deal with them because they haven't been taught these things. I think it might be like, I'm not trying to sound like a conspiracy theorist, but it's like a plot that's been put out for like 1,000 years. I don't even know. Like hundreds of years. That we need to divide them up so they fight and then we win. Like corporations, for example. Like, I would say, like, downright evil corporations like Palantir and BlackRock. Massive corporations are the modern day equivalent of empires, because they don't need to be sovereign and put on a map, but they can be spread out across every current country and break them down pretty much if they chose to, if they have enough power. They could break down a country easily. It's scary to think about, because I want children. At least I think I want children, right? I want a relationship. But what society has taught me is that you must have kids, which I don't like. When it's like a must, right? Or like how consumerist this society is, like modern day society. It's super bad on TikTok. I view my sister, the amount I see my sister, who is like young, and I don't think she should be on the internet as much as she is, coming from a loving perspective. She's always wanting the new thing. She's always wanting to buy stuff, which is helping these corporations build more money and then further their goals of either despicable acts, excuse me, or like hurting the earth. The amount of things that we could change easily, and like that with money, money is only is a form of a thank you. Because when someone does a service, it's a mental thing. They want to thank you. They want compensation, right? Because I just did this for you. Well, I just did it, and you didn't, and I don't get anything for it. Because that's like that's like a internal human emotion and like feeling. So money only acts as a physical form of a thank you that can help you move through things, right? But money has become so gross, and not like gross in like amount, gross in the fact that it's infectious. It hurts people, because it hurts who you are as a person, because I need more money so I can puppeteer all these people. I can watch my citizens, as I said about corporations, like Palantir, who the biggest, I think it's one of the biggest surveillance companies, or the biggest. They're able to watch you, like right now, I bet you. They're able to watch you, they're able to track you, they know what you like. It's a modern day empire. It's the new age of empire. Game name drop? Anyways, because it doesn't need a physical border, almost. It just needs consumers. It just needs shareholders. That's another common problem, is there's no autonomy anymore. There's no privacy. And I think that's what I've viewed, is that a lot of Gen Z and Gen Out, like young Gen Z, like generation, are becoming more nihilistic and more, there is no purpose. I am the target. There's nothing to do. Like, and that hurts me, because I'm a very caring person and I want everyone to do good, but I see where they're coming from, because the research they do and what happens the amount of horrible things that have been coming out and that have been happening, I would be nihilist, but from where I come from, from who I am as a person, I can't be nihilist, because I think there is a meaning to life, and I'm an optimist, I'd say. I always try to look at the best side of every situation, even if they're horrible situations. I don't like when stuff is bad. I think I'm gonna start wrapping it up here, but, I want people who see this video to start thinking more, and thinking more about their actions and what is happening around them. I know that's kind of cliche to say, but I hope this video does well, and I hope it reaches a lot of people, and I'm still gonna post even if it doesn't, but I just want the people I'm around to start thinking deeper, and being wiser, I want to say. Peace out, you guys.